good to see everybody. I can't see anybody, but it's good to be here. And This is a little webinar that we do once or twice a year, just to keep people informed about the Masters in Conflict Resolution and Reconciliation. So you might be an applicant, somebody who's already applied, maybe gotten an offer, or you might be somebody who's just interested in applying. Plenty of time to apply at this stage of the year. So we're just gonna have a little session. I'm sure it won't last too long, but we've got plenty of time for questions. Um, I'm gonna ask Brendan and Romana to introduce themselves if they would be happy to do that first.
Yes, hi everyone. My name's Romana, and I'm the Marketing and Communications Officer for the School of Religion, Theology, and Peace Studies at Trinity.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name's Brendan. I'm an academic staff member here at Trinity, based up in Belfast. Working with David and Caroline and Breed to deliver the course, the MPhil in conflict resolution. And yeah, looking forward to meeting some of you, hopefully, potentially next year.
Caroline, how's it
Hi.
going? Good to see you. Do you want to say hello to everybody?
Hi, everyone. Yes, I'm Caroline, and I'm the administrator based in the office in Belfast. So if you're in contact with the office or you've sent an inquiry or applied, you'll probably hear from me, no doubt, at some stage.
Great. Thanks, Caroline. So, yeah, and I should have said I'm David Mitchell. I'm the coordinator of the course. And Yeah, we're all in different places. Tonight, we thought this time might suit different time zones or people working here. And I see Alex here. We'll talk to you in a minute, Alex. I'm gonna talk for a bit first, and then you could introduce yourself. Great to see you. Okay, so the Masters in Conflict Resolution and Reconciliation. Let me just get up my little PowerPoint here. Okay. So we are Trinity College Dublin in Belfast. So a little bit confusing. Trinity College Dublin is Ireland's leading university, based, famously right in the center of Dublin. It's a bit of a landmark, but we are a kind of satellite operation of Trinity north of the Irish border in Northern Ireland, which is in the United Kingdom. So we're about 2 hours up the road. Um, and we're here for a reason. Our course was created in the aftermath of the Good Friday Agreement, the peace agreement here in 1998. And it was really designed to be an input into the process of change here, a way of disseminating academic knowledge on peace building and training local peace builders who were working on the ground as part of the peace process. There was a long-running violent conflict here for 30 years of violence, leaving a huge legacy of trauma and societal dysfunction, political dysfunction as well. And so we're still in a process today of recovering from that. Um, the course, yeah, it combines theory and practice of building peace in Ireland and around the world. So we try to keep a balance of theory and practice, and also the Irish case and other cases around the world. Um, uh, Structurally, yeah, we have weekly classes. That's the main sort of unit or element of the course. So you'd be looking at 2 or 3 mornings a week in classes. Then we have at least one intensive workshop, which is a week-long class on mediation skills. And then we have various field trips around Belfast, guest practitioner talks, and an optional community placement as well, which is a kind of work placement in a local organization, which you can do. These are our modules. A range of theory and practice. We have one required module, research skills, which is a generic um, module looking at how to research in the kind of social sciences, but particularly research peace and conflict, the kind of stuff that we're interested in, and that module is very much directed towards the dissertation, which I can talk about. Then we have a full module looking at the Northern Ireland case study, so a module called Conflict and Peace in Northern Ireland. We have that intensive module, mediation and peace building skills. We have module looking at the theory and practice of reconciliation. Contemporary Peacemaking Global Perspectives is a case study based module where we look at peace processes in different parts of the world, whether it's Sri Lanka, Bosnia, Korea, places like Palestine, Colombia, and so on. Transitional justice, which often described as dealing with the past. So, what are the legal mechanisms, the social mechanisms to dealing with past violence and human rights abuses? How do societies recover from conflict in that way? Pursuing justice without, uh, making conflict more likely to resume in the future. And then the community placement, which is an optional module where we give you a selection of local organizations which might suit you for a placement, or students also have the option to find their own placements. We very much encourage students to go out and look and see what kind of organizations they might like to do some work with. There are also Dublin-based modules. But we are fairly unique in that we're a cross-border department. So we're the only part of Trinity sort of away from Dublin. And we're also part of a school of Trinity College Dublin. It's called the School of Religion, Theology and Peace Studies. And that department is cross-border. And so our students are able to take some modules in a school in Dublin, and Dublin-based students are also able to take some of our modules. That requires a bit of travel, but it is an exciting thing that is optional for students if they wish to do that. The year structure. So, what would your year look like if you sign up for this? There are two 12-week terms, September to November, January to April. So right now we've just started the second term. Um, like I say, weekly 2 hour classes, probably 2 mornings a week, sometimes three. 1 week intensive. When have you got to do the work? What are the pressure points? Well, in general, January and May is when the essay deadlines are, although we have different bits of coursework throughout the year. Then, crucially, the dissertation, which is a very important element of the course because it makes up 1/3 of the overall course. This is translated into ECTs or European credits, and you do 60 credits of classes, and then 30 credits is a dissertation. So that makes up 1/3. Once you get to April and weekly classes are over, you sort of can go wherever you like. You're not tied to Belfast. Some students will stay in Belfast to write their dissertations, others will go elsewhere or go home. But that's the period when you write your dissertation. So you have a supervisor, that'll be myself or Brendan, and we will meet you periodically to keep an eye on you and make sure you're pursuing your dissertation in the right direction. So currently at this time of the year, our students right now are thinking about shaping their projects, and in a few weeks' time, they will present their proposals to the class so that by April, they will be up and running, hopefully, and able to deliver their dissertation by the middle of August. Then, that's kind of it. There's a bit of a interregnum or a bit of a break then until the end of November when you get your final results. That's when the exam board, or as we call it, the Court of Examiners meets and confirms all marks. And then you would have a graduation ceremony in Dublin in the main Trinity campus the following April 2028, which does seem like a very long way away right now. But that is, if you're applying for this September, that's whenever your graduation would be. And it's always a very happy day because Trinity graduations are very fancy and enjoyable, and everybody's in a good mood because they've graduated. So that's something always to look forward to. Okay, let's explain this thing I mentioned at the start. We're Trinity College Dublin, but we're in Belfast. We're Ireland's best university and Ireland's best city. There's our little slogan for you. We like to think that we have the best of both worlds, because we have the advantages of being part of Trinity. Yes, we're a bit of a distance away, but you can go to Trinity if your visa allows it, of course, depending on your nationality. But you can go to Trinity and be part of things there, go to events, use the library and other student services. Um, but Dublin is a busy place. It's an expensive place to live. So Belfast is a slightly easier place, slightly less crowded and a little bit cheaper. But because we're interested in peace and conflict, also Belfast is the place to be. You're living in a divided city, a still divided city, which is still recovering from conflict. And there's a huge number of learning, there are endless learning opportunities really that come with being in a divided society, which has still got its problems, but is always making progress and is always kind of talking and analyzing itself. There's always so many events, discussions going on here that are really stimulating, uh, that are usually free, and that you can be a part of if you come here. So you will be a full Trinity Stu College Dublin student. If you tell your taxi driver that you're going to Trinity College Dublin in Belfast, they might be a little bit confused, but that is what you are. We are Trinity College Dublin in Belfast. You'll have the student card, a full Trinity student. That's where your degree will come from. But you will be physically based in Belfast, which technically is in the United Kingdom, which is important to know for visa purposes. So you will require a UK visa to come to Belfast. You will not be required to go to Dublin at any point. Um, it's a fully Dublin base, sorry, fully Belfast base course. And some people, because of their visa status, may need an extra visa, which is an extra hassle and expense to go to Dublin. So you will not be required to go to Dublin at all. But if you can get your visa allowing it, you're welcome to go to Dublin, for various reasons, including, as I say, doing classes. Um, okay. Yeah, and just that point on student services as well. So we are a sort of small satellite campus, so we don't have the full suite of student services available locally. But like I say, you are 100% a student of Trinity College Dublin, so you're entitled to all the student services provided by Trinity, whether that's counselling, career service, student learning and support, international supports, and so on. Um, Much of this stuff is available remotely. That's one of the good side effects of the pandemic is that Trinity is now much more it, it connected, but through remote means, which is great for our students. But we also provide some student services in Belfast. So, for example, a gym. You're allowed to use the gym at Queen's University, and you're also allowed to we can get you access to Queen's University Library, which is an excellent facility very close to us here. Okay, and then just finally a little bit about Belfast. Like I say, it's still a divided city. It's an interesting place to be. It's always talking about peace and change and the stuff that we are interested in. Um, you know, there's always a new crisis. There's always new good things happen as well. The peace process here is not in stasis. It's not in a museum display case. It's always evolving. Um, and that, from a sort of slightly selfish point of view, it's very stimulating and interesting to sort of observe that and be part of it. A society which is kind of is in transition, as we say, it is moving to another place. Um, yeah, big enough to be interesting, small enough to be manageable. It's got all the sort of things you would hope for in a city, but still easy to get around, easy to walk around. Close to nature as well in many ways. Where Ireland is a beautiful island, and an hour up the road you can be at the coast. Well, half an hour that way you can be at the coast. You've got mountains and more, and an hour down there. You can always see the hills anywhere you are in Belfast. It's one of the nice things. Brendan's laughing because I'm on my tourist board sort of monologue here, but it is a nice city close to nature. And quite a few students have actually remained here in the last number of years. They've got partners, they've got jobs. Some of them have used this graduate visa, which is an option you get with a UK student visa to stay on for about 18 months, I think, at least, for any reason. So we've a little kind of community of students who have come and done the course and then remained in Belfast, which is great. Oh yes, some people always want to know what our graduates do. Um, these are some of the fields of work that people go on to. I'd say definitely the first one is the main category of work that people end up doing, working for NGOs, non-governmental organizations, whether at a very local level or international NGOs. And often, which is great, on themes that are relevant to our course, conflict resolution, social justice, international development. Um, and they do that all over the world, actually, and it's fantastic. We always have a small group who also do a PhD research. So I think a lot of students find the course quite a helpful stepping stone to PhD research, a good grounding in research skills, a good experience of a small scale research project in the dissertation. Master's years, certainly for in my experience, personal experience, master's years are great times to have a bit of space and think about what you want to do next, and that might well be to specialize in an area of research. Law school, further study of other kinds, and then policy making, civil service, research, diplomacy as well. All manner of things our students do. And I'm nearly done, but I've just got a couple of photographs. These are some photographs of groups of students out on field trip. Our classes aren't usually as big as those pictures. They are combinations of well, three of them are combinations of Dublin and Belfast students. So we meet up for a couple of trips during the year. Some of our these are some of our classes in Belfast. Oh, I'm getting pandemic shivers looking at the masks, the mandatory masks a few years ago. Um, and then finally, this is where you want to end up. These are our graduation ceremonies in Dublin, and some nice uh, smiles of success there on those pictures. So that's a little overview of what the course is all about. And I'm back at my normal view, and I can see Alex. So I'm gonna ask Alex a couple of questions. Um, so Alex, thanks very much for coming along. You're in Dublin.
Yes, hi everyone. Nice to see you. Thank you for having me.
You're in these guys' position a year or two ago, but you're actually fully finished the course now.
Yeah.
Um, so do you want to just tell us where you're from and what you're doing now?
Yes, of course. So I'm originally from Cyprus, which also has a deep history of conflict by itself. So it felt very natural to choose this course and move to Northern Ireland and live in Belfast. So it was, I think in May or June, I found a job in Dublin, at the Embassy of Cyprus. So I had to move from Belfast to Dublin, and ever since, yeah, I've been living in Dublin and I've been working at the embassy, which has been very nice. I'm the consular there, so I deal with visas, passports, IDs, and all that sort of stuff. So it's very interesting. I was very, very lucky.
Yeah, yeah, fantastic. And I think you meet a lot of interesting people through a job like that as well. So
Yes.
so it's great. Yeah, it's great that you're not in Belfast, but you're still on the island, so not too far
Yeah.
away. Do you want to tell us if you can remember, like, why did you apply for the course in Belfast? Why did you want to do the course and why did you want to come to Belfast?
Yeah, so because I did my bachelor's degree in political science back home, I was always like very interested in modules like that had to do with conflict or human rights, reconciliation, transitional justice. So finding this course, it felt very, I don't know, very natural because also, to be honest, I don't think there's any other course in Europe that's very like tailored on conflict resolution. So it was a very easy choice to pick this course and Trinity. So yeah, and also having to live in Belfast, post-conflict city society. I think it makes the experience much worth it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I was going to ask you, what did you think of Belfast?
See, because I was coming in, not, I didn't have very much, I was familiar, but not really with the conflict. So I
Yeah.
came without just like, but spending some time there and like starting the course and doing a placement and living quite a while, you get to see like the the way the city works and the division in some sort of ways, and the many field trips that we had to do. So it was. I feel like after the first term, you really get to see how Belfast works, how it is, and yeah,
Yeah. Great. The last time I was talking to you, you said you missed Belfast, which was a
yes, I
nice thing.
do. I still do.
It's always a nice thing to hear. So, and yeah, and just my last question, coming from Cyprus, like you said, it's a divided conflict, a divided context. I
Yeah.
mean, what were your reflections, coming to another divided place, and now you're somewhere else as well? I mean, do you feel, what have you learned, or do you think differently about Cyprus now, maybe now that you've been in Belfast, or do you see it in a different way?
Yeah, see, because in Cyprus the conflict is still unresolved, so it's just frozen. I feel like we were very used to the division, like the literal division with the borders and the division of both societies, like literally. But in Belfast, you see the conflict is resolved, but you can also see the outcomes of the Belfast Agreement, how in some ways there's a lot of issues still unresolved. So spending time in Belfast and through our course, we get to see a lot of issues that are still unresolved, and the way people are still, you know, they need more,
There's
time to
more work to
reflect.
do. Yeah. And yeah, I'm just thinking about your dissertation as well, which I learned an awful lot from. Do you want to tell everybody what you wrote your dissertation on?
Yes, of course. So my dissertation was on the Cypriot conflict because, I was very passionate about it. So also, I have to say it's really nice if you're coming into this course and you have some topic that you're passionate about. It's very easy to come in and or sort of grow with it and do a bunch of research on it and eventually do a thesis that you're proud of at the end. So my thesis was on the conflict in Cyprus, but also looking more deep with the educational system and how it further divides the society and hinders reconciliation. So yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah, yeah. And yeah, it was about attempts to sort of how the textbooks even sort of underpin the division and attempts to revise the textbooks. So it was a great piece of work. So Um, we do. I mean, at staff, we learn a lot from students. I know it sounds a bit sort of trite or whatever, but we actually do, and it's wonderful to get the
yeah.
opportunity to learn in every sort of direction. Um, so okay, well, Alex, thanks very much for those comments, and yeah, I think that's all from us. So, shall we open it to questions?
Got a couple of questions have come into the chat
Oh,
function
have
there.
they? Okay,
Yep.
thanks for that.
Oh, they're flying in. So I'm wondering, will I take the first one there because it's directly linked to a to the community placement. So Abigail asks, would love to hear some examples of past community placements. Yeah, that's something that really seems to attract people to our program is the opportunity to get out and to see what sort of community-led and community-driven peace building is all about. And we really encourage, as David mentioned at the start, students to sort of try and be placed in spaces that they're particularly interested in. So in the past, we've had students working with a group that's involved in Irish language rights activism over in the east of the city, which is a really important group doing amazing work called Turris. And then we have people who have worked with children and young people living in sort of areas that would be known as sort of interface areas and helping out to do some kind of support work there and running events. And there's a number of options for that. This year we have somebody who's working with former combatants groups who are now engaged in conflict tourism, which is which is really interesting. So they're just some of them. I don't know. Am I missing any others, David? Can you think off the top of your head? I mean, that's tourists, our city,
Yeah.
that's Coistja. Emily worked with the South Belfast group in the village. I can't remember the name of the group. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
so
Yeah,
I think
those are
that I
just
hope. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
some of our recurring ones, and then there's other ones that come in and out. But it's they're quite informal, voluntary experiences. I think it's 70 hours that you do over the course of the year, and then you write a reflection on it. So yeah,
Yeah.
so it's done in a kind of, we have the ones that we work with, but then we have a sort of dialogue with the students once the year starts, to try and place them. Shared future news, of course, as
Oh,
well.
yes. No, that's
It may not be available come next year, but
unfortunately not. It's going to sleep for for this year, as we would say. So, but yeah, no, just to emphasize that point, David, like we really do want students to say, look, I'm particularly interested in A, B, and C. Do you know of any groups that work in this area? And we try and sort of work with you on that. Like at the end of the day, we're really keen on making sure you get the best placement opportunity. So yeah, so definitely if you're interested in that, go and do a little bit of research, try and find some organizations that you might be wanting to join or get involved in, and we'll try and bridge the gap.
okay. Well, I talk through a couple of other ones. I think Lee had a raised hand, but I'll maybe just talk through the written ones first. Opportunities for funding or scholarships. This is a tricky one. You'll see on the website there are at least one sort of small scholarship of, I think, 2 or 3 thousand pounds, euro, from the ISC Trust. I'm not really aware of any other full funding opportunities through Trinity. Master's funding is hard to come by, unfortunately. Um, so most of our students either find funding in their country of origin or they fund themselves. Um, so yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, unfortunately, there's not a great answer for that. The third one, I completed my undergraduate theology in Mexico. How is this kind of background usually assessed for this program? Oh, that's a great question. So I should have said we don't require any particular background at all for this course. You could be doing geology, medicine, you would still get into our course. Now, I would say, I mean, Alex said he did political science. I would say that's quite common for our students to have studied political science, international relations type uh, um, courses, but certainly theology, the humanities. We've had people who've done psychology, literature, philosophy,
Hmm.
um, all kinds of topics. I mean, I would say our course is broadly in the social sciences. So we use social science methods, interviewing, surveys, but we also do political, historical analysis, um, quite a strong sociological theme because there's a strong sociological bent to peace and conflict studies because it's studying how violent conflict impacts societies. But in terms of requirements, so you would be totally fine having studied theology. And like again, like Alex said, made a great point. We do have the flexibility on the course to pursue things that you're interested in. So if we can support you, we will definitely want you to study the topics that you can, as long as we can, help you to have some connection to conflict resolution, peace building, that kind of stuff. We're very broad and open-minded, hopefully. The graduation is 2028. Will you be able to get your diploma earlier? Does it work with applying jobs? Yeah, so we can give you a provisional transcript. So once the exam board meets in November, of 2027. That's everything completed. You have the full and final transcript. The graduation is just a sort of ceremony. Um, Between August and November, we can deliver you, correct me if I'm wrong, Caroline, we can provide a provisional transcript which has
Yes.
your likely marks, and we can, write something to say that you've completed all elements of the course, that sort of thing. Um, I hope that makes sense. Other internship places connected to the program. Yeah, we hopefully we covered that one at the start. Lee says, I was curious, given the smaller size of the program, what the dynamic is like through the year. Also curious what the postgraduate student is like. Great question. Yeah, so our classes are not huge. So usually we have between say 8 and 12 students. Um, Hopefully, maybe a bit bigger than that. Very international from all over the world. Probably quite a few from the United States. Different genders, different ages as well. And we have people, yeah, usually several from the States, a few from Europe, different parts of the Europe, and then a few from, other parts of the world as well. So small but fairly diverse, I would say. And you have the advantages and disadvantages of a small group, I suppose. But I think many people like our small classes. Once you get to postgraduate level, you don't really want to be anonymous. You don't want to be part of, 100 or 200 in a class. You want to get to know your lecturers as well.
Mm. Yeah.
So I think hopefully the advantages outweigh the disadvantages of the class. Curious what the postgraduates. Yeah, again, I mean that depends on different groups, but I believe our groups do stay in touch. They become friends. They stay connected. Um, we have a LinkedIn group as well for former students, and so. Alex's class was quite small, but I think they were all friends. I hope they still are friends. I like to think they're all friends.
Yeah, of course. We're a
Yeah.
small, really small class, but it was so good. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I
So
think
you're a small
also,
class, but yeah,
sorry,
very diverse.
there is also a, I think there's a group chat. We have a WhatsApp group with all the past students, so there's a way that we stay connected and everyone lets each other know about like either new opportunities or events to go in Belfast or wherever. So that's also
Yeah, great. That's great. And we try to connect the classes as well. So if you apply, we will nearer the start of the year, we'll try and connect you with current students because for various reasons, you might find it helpful to talk to them about moving to Belfast and different things. Are there required classes in the religion and theology departments? No, not at all. We're kind of a composite school, so there's religion, theology, and peace studies. We're in the peace studies discipline. Also within that is a master's in international peace studies in Dublin. And so if you were to choose classes in Dublin, it would probably be classes which are part of the Masters in International Peace Studies. If you are interested in religion and theology, you can choose, as far as I know, I need to check this, you can choose modules from across the school as well. Um, okay, I can't, I think I've covered all the written questions.
There's one more question in the question box.
Oh, there is there? I
Yeah,
thought you were.
no, I'm just keeping everybody in check. When are decisions typically made on applications? I def Can you see
Okay,
that?
I can't see that, but uh, as quite soon. So the application process is you apply. Um, we, we literally we review your applications, and then we make a recommendation that goes to the university's central admissions department. Then the university check that all your material is legit, all your documentation is in order, and then they issue an offer. So there's a couple of stages. All being well, it should only take a couple of weeks, but there can be sort of delays. But if you're, anxious about it, you can just send us an email and see what the status of your. But you should be able to see that on your portal, your application portal when you apply. That's a good, it's always an interesting question when your registration actually ends. But yeah, it's a 1 year course and you pay the fee, which is on the website, which is so you don't pay anything into the second year. No. Okay. I hope Lee, maybe you're asking that because your application is still to be actioned. I'm trying to remember. Um, there can be a delay sometimes with references, so we can't make a final recommendation until all your references in or come in. So sometimes that can uh, delay things as well. Okay.
David, there was
Yep.
another question I saw there, but maybe it's been answered, in another way about funding, SUSI funding and NI student finance. So
Oh, yes, yes.
I believe that the SUSI doesn't apply because I looked into this for a previous applicant, but NI student finance should be okay because we can get a code for that. So just for the benefit of whoever is asking that. Yeah.
Thanks, Caroline. That did ring a bell that we dealt with
Mm.
that before. Yes. It's another one of those complicated status sort of
Yeah.
questions of north and south and east and west.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
um, okay. Well, like I say, we're always open to answer questions at any time. Always happy to chat by Zoom or even in person. We usually welcome a few students during the year who want to come and check us out in person. So if you do happen to be passing through Belfast, please come in and say hello. Um, the days are getting slightly longer. This is the first time I noticed it was bright at 5 o'clock. So that's always a kind of a milestone whenever you realize the spring days are coming, which is good because it's been quite wet here recently. But if you come in September, September is always sunny. So I'll come a bit earlier because the summer in Ireland is fantastic. So, okay, thanks very much for coming along. I hope that was helpful. If there's anything you're not sure about, please follow up with any of us. And yeah, thanks, Romana. Thanks, Caroline. Thanks, Brendan. And especially thanks, Alex, for giving us your time tonight. And we wish you well as you continue your important work in Dublin at the embassy.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, all the best, folks.